Hi there, so this is the week 1, module 1 response to the first lesson video. I'd like to say first of all I really enjoyed Mr. Bob Hudson's presentation. I think overall the thing I took away from it the most was when he was talking about how his plans didn't always turn out like they wanted to. He had an idea of how his life was going to go, but God took him down different paths. It reminded me of Proverbs 16:9 that says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." Certainly found that to be true in my own life, and I'm sure I will too. Further down the road, in 2006 I was in college, I was in flight school. I didn't plan on doing anything but ever flying airplanes, and through a series of events I think the Lord led me to where I am now, working in the space world, and that's certainly, although not where I planned on being originally, it's provided at the very least a backup career for me that's really a segue into being able to go back to the aviation world. So that was really interesting. He mentioned also that there's a lot of 4-year programs out there now where you can get a bachelor's degree in something like aeronautics or aviation, and I think that's something I hadn't really considered, that's an academic avenue that didn't really exist in the past, and that's something we're very fortunate to have now. One of the big things he said that stuck out to me too was when he was talking about when he went to go interview for his first airline job, and they told him he was a relatively low-time pilot and he had 2,500 hours total time. That's kind of crazy. When I first got hired by Mesa Airlines, I think the FAR standard was 300 hours to be a Part 121 first officer. Of course, we have the 1,500-hour rule now, but even that's far cry from what things were even 15 or 20 years ago, it sounds like. He was saying there weren't any signing bonuses, which is a new thing also, but that he had to pay out of pocket for his training. I think with Mesa, I had a prorated 1-year agreement, so as long as I flew for the company for a year, I wouldn't have to pay for the cost of my training, but I believe he said he had to pay $10,000 and didn't even get a type rating for his training initially. So that's crazy. Things have changed quite a bit. Something that also resonated with me he was talking about too was his passion for being an instructor and working in a training department. And I feel like I have a gift for being an instructor also. That's what I do now, is working as chief of training on the contract that I work on in the space world now. I always felt like I have a gift for that. That's something ideally I'd like to see myself doing somewhere down the road too, is being a line check airman or part of a training department somewhere. And I also really liked when he was closing too, that he said that part of the goal is to train all of us to be the best at what we do. Man, I like that. I definitely, wherever I go, whatever I do, whatever my hands find to do, I want to be the best at it. Not just so that I can do a good job, but so that people can look at that and say, man, why do you work so hard? Why do you do such a good job? And I say, well, it's because I'm a Christian. It's because the Lord's changed my life so much. And I think that's kind of what he was driving at too, is that's a great conversational way to lead people to the Lord, which wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, that's your main purpose. Thank you.